All right, all right. Good evening, everybody. How are we doing? My name is again Lucy, and I am very excited about today. I'm very excited about today's session because it's all about money. We're in a season where everything is crazy. If you're not a believer, if you're not a believer whose hope is on God, you would literally run mad this season because of the way things are. And like I said in the previous sessions, I am a researcher, so I know numbers, especially looking at economic data and numbers. And the data and the numbers are really, really frightening. And you want to know and have other ideas as to how to build, how to make, how to have make profit this season. What other ideas or what other thoughts you should be looking at, or what other business ideas you should be looking at to be able to profit and grow this season. And it's very, very important. So, with that in mind, we have our amazing guest this evening, Miss Mercy Agbeti. She's great. I follow her page on Instagram, money, family, everything, she's there. So please stay tuned and really listen. She has a lot to teach us this evening. Thank you. Good evening.
Um, Good evening. Thank you for having me. Good evening,
Thank you so
everyone.
much, Ma. We're so honored. We're so excited to have you this evening.
Thank you for having
We see your amazing work, especially as a someone who changes the mindset of females around money, and we're really excited to have you this evening. So, Ma, the floor is yours. You teach as much as you want to teach us tonight. We're all ears. Thank you so much, ma.
Oh, all right. Thank you for having me. Good evening. Don't mind my face. I just woke up from a short nap. The moment I got back, I
Ah,
knew I needed
ma,
to
you
to
look like this when you take a
oh
short nap. Imagine how you look when you now take your time to freshen up.
just for my nap. I was really rushing. So thank you so much for having me. So for the next 45 minutes, we're going to be talking about the right money mindset at this time. That's the topic that was given to me. The right money mindset at this time. The first thing first I'd like us to talk about is what exactly is money. Because it starts from there. We need to understand what exactly money is before we can even have the right mindset. Before we can go into it, let's define our terms. What exactly is money? I'd like to start off from there. Now, growing up as a child, I grew up with my grandparents, and my grandfather liked to tell a lot of stories. He told a lot of stories, and one of the stories told while I was young was him narrating how when he was young there was nothing like money really. Now what happened was, if someone had a basket of tomatoes, another person had two bags of yam, another person had beans or something, they'll ask around, okay, you, what do you need? You, what do you need? And then they exchange based on what each person needed, what was valuable to each person. But then it became cumbersome. Like there are times you have things you don't know who needs it. It became really, really cumbersome. So money had to be introduced in form of cowrie at first. So when money was introduced, it was introduced in the form of, okay, so I have this AC remote I want to sell. I'm going to decide, what do I think the value is. If I decide me, oh, I value this remote at 3,000 naira. Someone who needed it and who thinks it is worth that value will then give me 3,000 naira and then get my AC remote. It was just as simple as that. Now, another thing I want us to notice, if I had this water and you had this water, it's the same thing. If I decided my own bottled water is worth 3,000 naira and you decide your own is worth 500 naira, same water. For me, I decide my own is worth 3,000. You decide your own is worth 500 naira. What's going to happen is anyone who thinks they value this water at 5,000 naira, oh sorry, at 3,000 naira rather, will come to me and buy it for 3,000 naira. Anyone who feels they value this water for just 500 naira will come to get this at 500 naira. So what this means is that money is just exchange of value. Am I communicating? Money is just so. Don't look at money like the paper, the hard currencies, all of these things. Money is just exchange of value. The more value you can give, the more money you can make. The more people you can even give this value to, the more money you can make. So I want us to first understand. In fact, that's the first principal mindset that I want us to live here with. That money is simply exchange of value. The more value you have to give to the more people, the more money you make. So having understand this, what money is, quickly before I move away from money being exchange of value. I'm a Christian. I don't know how many of us here are Christians, but there's a story in the Bible that I'd like to share quickly. It can be found in the book of Second Kings, chapter 4, the first 8 verses. He told us about how there was the wife of a prophet. Not just the wife of anybody, but the son of a prophet, the wife. And what happened is he died. Not only did this man die, but he died in debt. Like he didn't have money, he died in debt. Now debtors were all over following this woman with her 2 sons and wanted to collect their money. Then she went to the prophet. And what did the prophet tell her? The prophet asked her what she had, and she said, I have nothing except a jar of oil. Now, I'm surprised. Why didn't the prophet pray for her? Why did the prophet not call down money from above or something? Sorry, the thing is, there's no money above. There's no money that God wants to send you from above. So it was not something that he could call for. So the prophet has asked her, what do you have? So she has to say, I have nothing except for a jar of oil. And let me quickly say here that a lot of people, I've been a finance coach for a little over 2 years now, and in my few months of practice, I can tell you that a lot of people have things that they do not even value. You need to be able to identify your value before you can exchange it for money. Remember
Wow.
where we started from. We have ascertained the fact that money is not paper. I don't have any paper around me here. Money is not paper, literally. Money is value, exchange of value. Now, the thing is, a lot of people don't even know the value that they have that they can exchange for money. Just see the story I'm trying to relate to us now. The prophet had her what she had, and she said she had nothing except a jar of oil. And I can tell you that I've experienced scenarios like this where you are speaking with somebody and you're like, okay, and you're trying to make money. Of course, we have to find something valuable that you have. Your expertise, your experience, your education. We have to do for something valuable that we can exchange for money. I hear people say things like, I don't have anything, like Coach Mercy. I will be like, try. Like there should be something valuable that you have that we can. They be like, I don't know how to do anything except I know how to cook, and I'm like, really? Do you know what Hilda Bass is doing with cooking? Some people say, I don't know how to do anything. I just know how to sew clothes. Do you know what Vicky James is doing with sewing clothes? Some people can even go as far as I don't know how to do anything, but I like to talk. Like I can speak very well in front of anybody. Oh, I like to make people laugh. All these things. So the thing is, you yourself, you have not found that thing valuable. And if you do not recognize that something valuable, there's no how you can exchange it for money. Now let's move forward in my story. The prophet asked her what she had. And she said she had nothing except for a jar of oil. Then the prophet said that was it. Now go and get vessels and pour the oil into the vessels. And the Bible made us realize that the more she poured, the more it was overflowing. It was the moment when the vessels finished that the oil stopped flowing. Now, vessels in this place, I'll liken them to people. Remember, I mentioned that value. The more people you can offer, the more value, the more money you can make. See, the more people, so now the jar of oil here is the value. The vessels are the people. The more you pour into people, the more value you give it to people, the more money you will make. You are going to know that the wealthy people, the rich people, it's a game of numbers. They are looking for a product that can serve a lot of people. See someone like Dangote selling cement, selling salt, selling. They're looking for products that can sell to a lot of people because the more people they are able to sell to, the more money they are able to make. So the more vessels you are able to pour your oil into, the more money you are going to make. Now let's move forward a little. Then after she had now gotten these vessels filled up, she went back to the prophet. I mean, so I was wondering, okay, so what's the next instruction now? And guess what the prophet told her? Wow. The prophet told her to go and sell. The prophet told her to go and sell. That's a very, very critical point again. I don't know how many of us know Sapofo is the number one sales strategist in Nigeria, although he recently relocated with his family this year. But I've had to attend a couple of his classes where he's talking about sales, selling yourself. I found out that this is something that everybody has to learn. Because for you to make money, there has to be exchange of value. There has to be a form of sales. Either it's product, the service, you're trying to sell yourself, there has to be a form of selling. You have to sell to people. Maybe not directly necessarily, because ordinarily in selling, people buy into people before they buy into products. So sometimes you're not even literally saying, come and buy my product. So you're not literally saying, come and buy my service. So you're not saying, come and buy my clothes. So, but the fact that they bought into you, that's what happens. I'm sorry. That's what happens with influencers. They make us like their person so much that eventually, when they advertise one product like this, you just find yourself going to buy it. They are not the one probably producing the product, but you've bought into their person that buying into any product or service that they just talk about comes very easy for you. So selling is very important. To make money, everybody needs to learn how to sell. How to sell themselves, how to sell their products, how to sell their service. Like it is now a very strategic skill that everybody has to learn at this age and time. It is now a very strategic thing that everybody has to learn. I tell a couple of people that come to me for mentorship that see, I understand you're working 9 to 5, but see, build your personal brand. Build your personal brand. Now, I don't work a 9 to 5, not because I really do not want to or I don't have the chance. I have a first degree in chemical engineering. I have a second degree in project management. But I can tell you for free that the money I've made from being Christian money woman is more than how much I have made from having a master's degree. What is
Wow.
Christian money woman? My brand that I was able to sell to people. My brand that I was able to sell to people. So what I'm trying to say here is we need, I'm speaking to you as much as I'm still speaking to myself. We all need to learn how to sell. The art of selling is what everybody needs to learn. Because for you to make money, you need to learn how to sell. You need to know how to sell. That valuable thing that you've been able to identify, I know that you want to give to a lot of people, you need to know how to sell it. Now, let's move further. There are 3 things you can do with money. We are learning the right mindset to know about money at this trying times here. There are 3 things you can do with money. The first thing is you make money. The second thing is you manage money. And then the third thing is you multiply money. You make, you manage, and you multiply. Now, we've talked extensively on how to make money, identify your value, something valuable, pour it into people, learning how to sell. Now, let's agree we get that. Now I am making money. Now I am making money. I tell people that see, making money is the least on this hierarchy. Anybody can make money. Anybody can learn how to sell to make money. The second thing will be how to manage money. How to manage money, because not a lot of people know how to manage money. Just yesterday, I had a session with someone who was saying that she knows a junior colleague who does not earn as much as she does, and this person is doing well financially. And she keep asking herself, what is doing wrongly? And I said, the thing is, you are not managing your money well. Thank God you by yourself, you found a very good example to show you that there's someone earning less and is having a better lifestyle than you. It simply means you are not in charge of your money. You're not managing your money well. So the first thing in managing your money, the first mindset you need to adopt, you need to collect is budgeting. See, as simple as budgeting sounds, in fact, budgeting is the bedrock of finance primarily. Corporate finance, personal finance, budgeting is the bedrock. That is why nations still have budgets. They'll come out every year, organizations, companies will come out every year and say, this is our budget for the year. They have money now. Why do they need a budget? Budget is very, very important. I can imagine someone listening to me now, they're already rolling their eyes like budgeting, because a lot of us do not like to hear the word budgeting. For some people, the moment they hear the word budgeting, what's coming to their mind is something that is meant to restrict me from spending my money. Like I work so hard for my money, nobody should control me on how to spend it. But I put it to you that You work so hard for your money, is why you need to work so hard to manage your money. I mean, there are people that will get paid, and in the space of 10, 12 days, you ask them where's the money, and they'll be like, I don't even know. I hope you know there are people like that for real. And they'll be like, I don't even know. I'll be like, you don't know. You don't know what? Like, wait. Did they pay you? Or maybe they did not pay you. Did they pay you for last month's salary? I'll be like, they paid. Coach Messi, I don't even know how I spent the money. Let me even try to calculate. I don't even know. I think I bought food. Maybe like 40K. Then I don't even know. Okay, so where did 120K go to? I don't even know. I don't even. There are people like that. And it's because they do not budget. And I'm still telling you something. It is so bad that you have to work so hard for your money, and then your money will just leave just like that. The same energy that you put into making your money. I mean, you get up every day, you get dressed, you go to work, happy, and then at the end of the month they pay you. And then you think you're not supposed to get dressed every day to spend that money too. Budgeting is very important. Budgeting is the bedrock of finance. See, the moment you get your budgeting right, you've gotten like 60% of your finances right. The moment you get your budgeting right, you've gotten like 60% of your budget, of your finances, you've gotten it right. Because budgeting is you intentionally telling your money where to go. That's how I define my own budgeting. I don't use all the plenty grammar that they use. What I'm saying is budgeting. If you ask me what budgeting is, literally, budgeting is simply telling your money, intentionally telling your money where it has gone to. So that if by December somebody asks you, so can you tell me how you spent your first quarter salary, you should be able to beat your chest and say, my first quarter salary, my first quarter, I made 15 million and I spent 10 million on this, I spent a million on this, I spent this on this, I spent this on this. That is what it is meant to be. Not like you just wake up and just decide, okay, so last year, some people don't even know how much they make per annum or per quarter or something like that. You need to know your figures. That's another important thing. You need to know your figures because that's the way you can track your progress. You know, okay, last month I did this amount, I spent this amount, I was unable to invest. So next month I need to do better. But how will you know all of these things when you don't budget? How do you know all of these things when you don't budget? So it's very, very important. Budgeting is very, very key. I'm still saying it that if you get your budgeting right, you've gotten about 60% of your personal finance right. Now, let me quickly say this, that generally, the normal percentage for budgeting, I'm sure we've all heard it over and over again, is 50, 30, 20. 50, 30, 20. That is what we are told to teach other people. But me, I think that's one of the reasons why people fail with budgeting. Because imagine someone who has been spending about 100% of their money every month, and then you just tell them to just live on 50% of the money. Probably they do it the first month, they do it the second month, and then the third month, they relapse, they cannot continue. So personally, I recommend that you find a percentage that works best for you. Nobody is saying you must do 50, 30, 20. The good thing with budgeting is you can always review it. So let's say this month you decide I want to get serious with my finances. And me, I cannot spend 50% on my needs and my wants. What I can spend is like 80% because I'm not used to savings. So all I can afford to save is just 10% or 15% or 20%. It's fine, just start. If I see, if it's just 1% of your income that you can save with me, it's fine. Just start from somewhere. It gets easier. You just see that 3 months down the lane, you can easily just put 5% away. 3 months down the lane, you can comfortably just put 20% down the lane. But if you're so restrictive, like I must save 20%, that's one of the reasons why people cannot keep up with budgeting. So find a percentage that works best for you at first. Okay, I'm going to be spending this percentage. Okay, I earn ₦1,000,000 every month. I'll make sure that all my needs and my wants does not exceed 700K. I will make sure that is it. And then I know that 300K I can put in savings. Before you know it, before the end of the year, you might be surprised you are able to even put away 50% of your income. But you need to start off from somewhere. Budgeting is always open to review. There's no one size fits all. It's always open to review. So let's say the first quarter, you were able to do this percentage, and then you decide, oh, I've done well. Next quarter, you can review. and decide, okay, I think I spent too much on data last month, so now I'm going to reduce that and then put this into savings. It get easier when you review your budget. Now, the next thing I'm going to be talking about now is savings. Savings. A lot of people do not find it easy to save because they do not have a strong why. Two reasons. One, because they do not have a budget. Because ideally, you're meant to save before you spend. That's one mistake some people make. They feel like when I'm done spending, I will save. Oh, it is scam. It is because, see, human needs are insatiable. There will always be something you want to spend money on. So saving has to be on your list of list of things that you want to do practically, like list of your bills. Yes, saving should be seen as a bill that I have to pay every month. Once my income is coming in, I know 10% is a bill. Just like maybe 10% is my tithe, 10% has to go into savings. No matter what is happening, it has to go. How I'm going to rough it with the other 50% or 60%, it does not concern me. And you know one funny thing with money? Sure, you know that inside of your mind, you are thinking, I need at least 500K to run every month. But do you know that on months when you don't have up to 500K, months I have just 80K, do you know that you run your life? You will not die. Sure, you know you will not die. But the thing is, you've told yourself that lie. That if you don't spend all your money, something will happen. Nothing will happen to you. Nothing will happen to you. Make sure that you save. So budgeting first. And then the next thing is you do not have a strong why yet. I tell people that you do not have a strong why. When you have a strong why, tell yourself, especially for someone who just wants to start saving, someone who has not been able to inculcate that habit yet, someone who is not very good with saving already. If you just want to start, have a strong why. Okay, I'm saving towards buying this. Okay, I'm saving because by the end of the year, I want to have 500K. Oh, I'm saving because I want to do this. It helps you. Little by little, you know that, okay, this is the target. I'm going to 500K by December. So it's easy. By the time you eat it, by the time you do this for a period of like 12 months, there's no how you not get used to savings. So first thing first, start with a strong why. Give yourself a strong why you need to save, and then it gets easier. So let me quickly recap. I said there are three things we can do with money. We make money, we manage money, and we multiply money. We talked about the right mindset for us to make money. First, understanding what money is. Money is just exchange of value. So we need to identify what value we have and what vessels we can pour into and how to sell ourselves, our products, our services, and whatsoever, so that we can make money. The next thing after we have made this money is how to manage this money, budgeting and savings. And then the last thing now is multiplying money. When you've been able to make the money, you've been able to manage the money, it's important for you to learn how to multiply the money, because you can never work harder than your money. Your money is what can work harder than you. That is one thing that makes the rich keep getting richer. They put their money in places that is working for them. In fact, Warren Buffett says, until you start making money in your sleep, you are not yet wealthy. What does that mean? Until your money start doing the work. It's not you is actively doing it. Until your money start doing the work for you, that you wake up and you're getting paid the money, you've not started making money. So how do we multiply money? Remember where we stopped before, managing money, savings. Ideally, you should not just stop at savings. And this is why, because of inflation rates, it devalues your assets, your money, your capital. I hope you know that the 1 million naira that you saved at August does not have the same value as the 1 million naira of today. That is why it's not safe for you to save only. It's not safe for you to save your money only. So now, when you've been able to save to a certain extent, what's the next thing you should start thinking of? Start thinking of investing. In fact, I tell people that save up to like 3 months of your basic expenses. But how do you know 3 months of your basic expenses when you don't have a budget? That's why it's important for you to have a budget, so that you know that, okay, I need at least this amount, this amount. When you've been able to save, then the next thing you should start doing is investing. And that's even if you cannot be doing it concurrently, like be doing it together. Save a portion, invest a portion. It is best that way. Now, investing simply means multiplying money. Putting money somewhere that it multiplies itself, it brings something back to you. That is simply what investing is, multiplication of money. Now, a lot of people are scared of investing, rightfully so. because they are scared they will lose their money, or they've not even lost their money before, but they've seen people who lost their money, they don't want to fall victim. And I tell people that, see, it's because there are some things that you do not follow. There are a couple of things. In fact, in my notepad, I have like 10 things that I take people through if it's a one-on-one client. That there's no how you're going to tick these boxes and you're going to lose your money. I want to take us through a few, maybe like 3 or 4 of them. And the first thing is your financial goal, your investment goal. A lot of people do not have. The fact that even me, as a finance coach, I come on my page and I write stocks to buy or stocks that are doing well, does not mean you should just go and buy it. Even me, I'm not investing in everything I'm putting on my page. Even me, I don't buy all the shares that I put on my page. Even me, I don't subscribe to every treasury bill or saving bonds that I put on my page. Why? I first ask myself, does it fit into my goal? Now you want to ask me, what's the goal? Is your goal for asset preservation? Is it for asset appreciation? Let me explain in literal terms. Now, let's say I got out of school this year. I have a friend who also got out of school this year. But the thing is, our goal is in the next 5 years, me, I want to travel out of the country to do my master's. This other person wants to stay back in Nigeria to start a business. Like, he wants to be very big in Nigeria and then he can take trips. He's not a jackpot person. Like, this other person is not a pro jackpot. He wants to do well in Nigeria and then he can take trips anytime. Me, I want to leave the country after like 5 years. As we are leaving school, we now have 1 million each that wants to invest. I hope you know that the things that we would invest in will be different because our goals, our financial goals, is different. But the thing is, some people do not sit down to know these things. So someone like me, it does not make any logical sense for me to buy land. Like, I'm planning to leave the country. Probably I need the money to be processing all of those things. So I'm supposed to put my money into something that will be bringing me returns, probably quarterly, that I can easily liquidate once I want to leave the country. If I buy land and when I want to leave the country, I cannot sell the land, what's going to happen? Because land is not just something that you put on Facebook, come and buy land, and then somebody will just come tomorrow and come and buy. No. Some people, it takes them 3 months, 6 months before they're able to sell their land. Some people up to a year before they're able to sell. But this other guy who wants to stay in Nigeria, who probably wants to do business and everything, will probably need land. It's very good for the person to buy land. It's a very good investment for that kind of a person. But for me, it's not a very good investment for me. So can you see that our goals, our financial goals, our investment goals are different? But because my friends say, I have 1 million, I want to go and buy land. There's one land somewhere in Ogun State. They say 1 acre is 1 million. Me too, I now go and buy. Then 2 years down the lane, I start processing my visa. I need to pay for this, I need to pay for this. And then I cannot liquidate my investment. Can you see that I've shot myself in the leg? Do you get? Now, our goals, you need to know what exactly is my investment goal? What's my financial goal? What do I want to achieve in what so number of time? That would influence what you will invest in. That will not make you lose money unnecessarily. That is one. Now, the second thing is you have to consider the time that you have. I'll share this story quickly. Sometimes early this year, one woman reached out to me. She's 52. And why she reached out to me was because she said she has been following me online. She sees what I do. Very great. But what made her reach out to me was because she was having a conversation. It was a conversation in their office. She has a colleague who, funny enough, they're the same age, like 52, 52. They're just a couple of months apart. And they're in the same level. They earn the same amount. But then she realized that this woman got married early. She had 4 children already. The last one was in the university already. The other ones were married and out of the country. While she got married late and she had a child late, she was 52, but her first child was 8 years old. So she just thought of it that by the time she retires, is at that point that she's just paying college fees for her child. Why this other woman, whom they retire at the same time, they are same age, they've been earning the same amount. This woman, she's just doing omugo up and down. She's not paying any heavy bills. No child is saying, Mommy, I want to pay school fees. Mommy, I need money for this. No child is there. Well, that's when she retires. she's paying tuition fee. Maybe her son is now in Covenant University, and every 3 months she has to pay school fees of 5 million. That one is aside of food, everything. So she said it got her thinking that what can she invest in now, so that when she retires she'll be able to fund for this child that she gave birth to late. I hope you know that these people, the time they have is different. They are same age, oh, they earn the same amount, they work in the same office, but the time they have is different. So this woman who has 4 children, whom at retirement she'll be moving from different place to different place with her children, she's going to focus more on asset preservation. Whatever money she's making, she just wants to put it somewhere to preserve it, and she'll be eating it little by little. In fact, someone like that can just put her money in fixed deposit. She put her money in fixed deposit, and every month she has a certain amount she's collecting. She does not have any heavy bill she's paying. Probably she'll never have to pay rent. She's not sending any child to school. Nothing, just a couple of, if her children will probably be giving her money at that time. So maybe just small things that she just needs to be when that's so asset preserve. If her fixed deposit does it for her, she's fine. She does not have to take from investment too much. But this other woman who has a child who is just 8 years old, she has to be thinking of the asset class of asset appreciation, because the time she'll be paying the heavy bills, she's not actively working, and money has to be working for her. So she has to put it into something that is assets appreciating, not just preservation, because she needs heavy money by that time. That kind of a person can now go into stocks or buying shares of a company or whatever it is that that person now wants to go to, or into mutual funds, or even as much as crypto, depending on her risk level. Like that. So I'm just trying to explain that the goal is usually different, even if you are the same age, even if you are twins. Your time is different. And then the next thing I'll talk about is your risk level. This is something that's very important. The golden rule of investing is the returns is directly proportional to the risk. The risk is directly proportional to the returns. And what that means is, if you want to invest in something and they are telling you that this thing has 25% returns, what you know that, okay, so that means I can make 25% of my money, also means I can lose 25% of my money. That is why if anybody is introducing you to any investment and say there's 100% returns, just know that as much as you can make 100% returns, you can lose 100% of your money. That's just what risk is. That's what they mean by risks and returns. Risks and returns are directly proportional to each other. So there are different levels of risks. There are low risk investments, there are medium risk investments, there are high risk investments. Aside from just knowing the risk level of the investment you want to invest in, what is your own risk tolerance? What is your own risk tolerance? I tell people that I'm a personal finance coach, but still, I am not a high risk taker. That is why you will not see me talk about the likes of crypto, Bitcoin, all of these things. My husband does it, but it's not my risk level. Because there's no point investing in something that you are not emotionally balanced. Because investment carries a certain percentage of emotions. If you are a very emotional person, you sell when you're not supposed to sell, you buy when you're not supposed to buy. If your risk level cannot manage, don't do it. Don't do it. If it means starting from a low risk investment I can manage, okay, low risk investments between 1% to 25%, I can still manage that. If I put 100K in investment and I lose 25K, I can still take out, I can still manage that. Start from there. Little by little, you can move to medium risk. I'm not saying that I'm a medium risk taker and then that's the end. Next year, I might have reason to be a high risk taker. Next year, you guys can hear me start talking about crypto or Bitcoin. What I'm saying is, at the rate I am right now, I'm not a high risk taker. So it will not make any financial sense for me to say I want to go and invest in high risk investment. Because what exactly is my own risk tolerance? A lot of people do not know what their risk tolerance is. If I ask some people now, what's your risk tolerance? They don't know. So that's why somebody will say, there's one coin that's doing well in the next 3 months. Come on. Can your risk level carry it? Because see, if your emotions is doing balablu, you will lose money. It's doing balablu, you just feel like, oh man, this thing is going down, let me just sell. People that have the high risk, there are people that can lock up $4,000 and their mind is not there. So by the time the thing appreciates, they withdraw their money. But you, ordinary $200 that you put, your mind is going big, going up. What's not the essence? Don't do it. Don't do it like that. Do you understand? So another thing, the last thing I'd like to talk about on this investment in multiplying your money is, let me say, vehicle, and let me have this together, vehicle or strategy with diversification. I'm sorry, liquidity. Okay, let me call it diversification with liquidity. Now, when you're investing, fine, I'm a medium risk taker, does not mean I don't have a little percentage of my investment in high risk. I have in low risk, I have in high risk. But I know that the bulk of where my weight is in my medium risk investment. So it's important for you to diversify. Just like the normal talk of don't put all your eggs in one basket. Yes. So in case something happens to this, at least you have something to fall back on. So probably you decide I want 10% of my, okay, every month I can afford to invest 100K. Maybe you decide, okay, 20K goes into stocks, 20K goes into real estate, maybe 40K goes into federal government saving bonds or treasury bills or something. Just make sure you diversify. So in case something even happens to this, it's not like all your money has gone. So diversification is very important. So that's one mistake a lot of people make. They just put all their eggs in one basket, all their money in just one investment, because somebody guarantee you that this shares is going to do very well. You now carry your money. If something that happens, then what? Nothing to fall back on. So diversification. And then the last thing I'll talk about is liquidity. Very important. I'll give this example. When I just started being a finance coach, one of the people I worked with was an elderly man. So he does not believe in stocks, federal government saving bonds, treasury. Say all these you people's new investments. He does not know it. What he knows how to invest in is buy land. Land we appreciate. That's the only thing he wants to do. But I was trying to make him see the need for diversification and for liquidity. But this man was not seeing it. Sure, you know that a few months later, after he had used all his money to buy land, his children are in Canada, schooling in Canada. Then business did not go on as usual, so he could not pay their tuition fee, and it was like he needed to pay his children's school fees. He needed where to get money. He put his land for sale. 2 months, 3 months, nobody was buying land, and he needed to pay tuition fee. He had to end up taking a loan. He ended up taking a loan that had high interest. So at that point, I was not telling him that was why I was talking about diversification, because you're supposed to put a certain percentage of your investment in something that is liquid, something that can liquidate in like 24 hours. A certain percentage of your investment should be in something that can liquidate in 20. So in case anything happens, you should be able to liquidate a portion of your investment. Some people do not do that. They put all their money in shares, and then over the weekend or over a period of time, you can't withdraw your money. Or they put their money in this. No, you should not just be in one thing. Consider at least 25 to 30% of your investment should be in something that can easily liquidate. In case something happens, you should not quickly go and say, I want to borrow money. No. So it's very important to note this. Now, my time is fast spent. I have about 7 minutes left. So let me quickly rush through this. Now, talking about low risk investment opportunities, high risk investment opportunities, and medium risk investment opportunities, and high risk investment opportunities. I want to quickly take us through a couple of examples that we can want to consider. And for low risk investment, remember I said the risk is directly proportional to the returns. And for low risk simply means any investment that is offering you between 1% to 25% returns. So come and invest in this new, you're going to get 20% returns. That means it's a low risk investment opportunity. That means you can gain 20% on your money, you can lose 20% on your money. Number one on that list for me will be treasury bills. Treasury bills. Treasury bills is the federal government collecting money from you to help you invest in something. And they offer up to between 13 to 16%. Between 13 to 16%. Now, why I like treasury bill is because it's in days. Treasury bills has 91 days, 182 days, 364 days. Meaning if you invest money in treasury bills, you are liable to collect your money within 91 days, your money and your returns, the two together, within 91 days. within 182 days, within 364 days, you collect your returns. So no long story. And a lot of people are usually scared, like investing with the federal government. But I'm pleased to announce to you that federal government has been doing this for over 60 years and they've never defaulted. So it's safe to a reasonable extent, actually. So 16%. So imagine you put 100K in it. So that means in 91 days, you're getting about 16,000 naira returns. Instead of just putting your money in your savings account that you're not getting anything in return, that could be a low place for you to start. Another one would be the federal government saving bonds. Sorry, saving bonds. Saving bonds is almost the same thing as treasury bills. The difference is that saving bonds is in years. Remember, treasury bills is in days, 91 days, 182 days, 364 days. But federal government saving bonds is in years, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 9 years. And your returns is payable per quarter. You can get your returns per quarter. And it pays more returns. Unlike treasury bills that pays between 13 to 16%, federal government saving bonds pays between like 21% to 26%. And your returns is payable per quarter. So let's say you decide you want to give federal government ₦1,000,000 for 2 years. That means they'll be paying your returns every quarter. So that means in that 2 years, you get your returns in eight different times. You know, there are 4 quarters in a year. So first 4 quarter in first year, 4 quarter in then you now get your capital, the money you gave them initially, you now get it back. You've been getting your returns all this time, and then at the end, you still now get your capital back. Can you see that these investments are safe? It is good for someone who just wants to start from 000. Is a good place to start. Then another one is mutual funds. Mutual funds is just, this one is not federal government. It's financial institutions like asset management companies. They bring together mutual people who want to invest. So let's say there are 10 of us now who decide, oh, we want to invest for 1 million, because the more money you invest, the more returns you get. But this time around, we don't know ourselves. It's the asset management company that brings us together mutually, bring us together, invest. And mutual funds right now offer up to like 23% returns every year. So if you put this certain amount of money, you know you're getting 23% of your money back with your money, your capital proper, the money you get. So these are low risk investments. Now, speaking of medium risk investments, now we can start talking of something like shares, stocks. It's the same thing. Shares and stock, the same thing. So what does shares mean or what does stock mean? It simply means buying a portion of a company. One of my favorites this year so far has been Transcorp. Transcorp, as at January, beginning of the year, was 10 naira per share, and right now Transcorp is 48 naira per share. Meaning, if you put 100K in Transcorp in January, you have 480K right now. I remember the 200K that I put right now is worth almost ₦1,000,000 right now. So what does Transcorp? What does shares or stocks mean? It simply means you're investing in a company. You're buying a portion of a company. So the more the company is growing, the more profits they are making, the more your share is growing, the more money you are making. Now, there's another portion of it, dividends. As they are making profits, they are paying you dividends. There are companies that pay dividends annually, biannually, or quarterly. But that's not even the real purpose of investing in shares or stocks. Is that asset appreciation? As they appreciate, like that kind of Transcorp that grew from 10 naira to 48 naira, your share has also grown. And note that you're not doing this. I'm not working with Transcorp. Oh. I'm not okay. I've been to Transcorp separately this year, so I wanted to say I've not even been there. I'm not working with them, but my money is working with them. I just give them my money. People take my money, be doing business with it. As they're making profit, just give me my portion of my own profit as people are making. I'm not working with them actively, but my money is working with them. So that's what we mean by investing. When your money is growing, your money is doing the work for you. While I'm sleeping, Transcorp people are working. When they make profit from my money, they give me as a shareholder. That's what we mean. Another one you might want to consider is real estate. Either in buying land land will appreciate, is a medium risk, or REITs, REITs, real estate investment trust. Meaning, okay, there's this company like or realty, something something, a lot of real estate companies. You decide, okay, since I cannot afford to buy land with you people for 10 million, I have 1 million, let me invest in your company. As it's growing, just like shares, as you people are growing, you people will pay me. That's what real estate also is, real estate investment trust, REIT. So that's a medium risk investment as well. Now for high risk investments, we'll be talking about the likes of crypto, Bitcoin, all of those things. And just like I've said, I do not teach it. I can, but because it's not something I've practicalized, it's not something that I do, I engage in actively, I choose not to go deeply into it. So I was rushing for my time. I'm 1 minute late. All right. So we've come to the end of this session. I hope we got value for this session. I hope we enjoyed this. I hope it was worth our time. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much, Kingmakers Academy, for having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Miss Mercy. Thank you. I wish I met you. I wish I met you. I wish I heard this message. I wish I had this session like 5 years ago when I made a crazy investment decision. Until
Exactly.
date, until date, I am still trying to recover from that decision I made. I wish I met you a long time ago and I would have known all these mutual funds, all these were presented to me, and I just shunned it aside and took a high risk investment, which eventually I lost 100% of the money. And I was like, oh my God, I wish I knew what I was doing then. Thank you so much for tonight, Ma. This is really an eye opening. In fact, I've never had any class on finance like you taught us this evening. Thank you so much. All right, if you have any questions, please, the floor is open for you to ask Miss Mercy before she goes off. Um, all right. In the meantime, I just wanted to ask, is there any app you recommend? Because so many of my friends keep recommending different kinds of apps for investments like Rise, Piggyvest, and Co. Are there any apps, like, since we are already in a changing world, are there any apps you could recommend in case somebody don't have you in their life and then there's an app they have in their life that could help them with all this? Are there any apps you recommend, or are there any other programs or other things you recommend?
Okay, so recommend might be a big word. I don't outrightly recommend because anything can happen to anybody. I don't want anybody
Oh
to
yeah.
hold me by the neck like that. But I'd say personally I use Bamboo for my US stocks, and I use Afri Invest, Optimus by Afri Invest for my Nigerian stocks. Mm? And then for the likes of treasury bills, federal government saving bonds, all of those things, I use Stanbic IPTC. And in all sincerity, I think the old way is still better. I know we're going digital, but we see some of these have crash for whatsoever reason. I know we're going digital, but left to me, I still think it's very great if you can walk into an investment bank and do all your investments. It's safer, actually. And one bank I use a lot is Stanbic IBTC. They have an investment branch, an investment bank, where you can buy your stocks, your shares, your okay, crypto is no longer legal in Nigeria because of Binance, all of those things. But your mutual funds, your federal government saving bonds, your treasury bills, your whatever you can buy from Stanbic. So if you want to walk into a bank and buy, Stanbic IBTC good. But if you want to use an app, I know there are a lot of apps, RiseVest, Trove, a lot. But personally, for my US stocks, I use Bamboo, and for my Nigerian stocks, I use Optimus. Now, I've been a victim too. Don't let me come here and make you look all so good. Last year, I was using Passfolio until Passfolio crashed.
Hmm.
But the good thing was they sent mails. So for people who took advantage, or for people who follow financial news like us, like this, I quickly moved my investments to Bamboo. But imagine someone who does not know. Do you understand? That's how all their money has gone. That's why this app, someone still has to be very careful of them. So not necessarily recommend, but those are the apps I use. But working into an investment bank is still very safe and secure.
Oh wow. Thank you so much, ma, for that answer. I don't know if any other person has any questions with regards to their finance. Especially with this time now, I don't know if when let's say someone who has a business And you know that idea when they say you're starting your business, is it right for you to take all your capital plus profit and keep on investing over time, over time, over time, over time? I don't know your
So
take on that.
it's good to have a healthy balance. It's good to have a healthy balance when you're a business owner. First thing first, I recommend is pay yourself. So the fact that you are into business and you made 10 million naira in revenue this month does not mean 10 million naira is your money. So maybe all your money, that 10 million naira, is just 300K. Meaning this is maybe the profit is like maybe 2 million, and you decide 1.7 and 1.5 has to go back into the business. Maybe 200K was used for logistics, and then all my own money here is 300K. Then you can decide if you want to invest your 300K or you want to spend it. Anything you want to decide is your own. And then for the 1.5 that was the profit of the business, you decide, okay, do you want to invest it in something else, or you want to invest it back into the business? So it's not one size fits all. It's not something I can just say this is what you do with your business. You are the one who has to sit down to decide this is the financial approach I want to use for my business. Some people will decide that for the first 2-3 years of their business, any profits they make, they are putting it back into the business. They are putting it back into the business before they think of outside investment. So you just need to find what works best for you. And business differs from business.
Yeah.
So you have to decide. It's something that someone has to sit down, probably with a finance coach, to know what are you doing. How do you manage your personal and your business finance? Because they have to be two separate entities so that you're not spending your business money like your personal money.
I like that thing you just said now, financial coach. How important is a financial coach to an entrepreneur or someone who just started a business? How important? Because these words are just so new in our own in our country. So how
Yeah.
important is someone who's just starting up a business to have a financial coach? Stay
Very,
with
very,
them through
very,
the process.
very, very important. And the first thing first is it will help you know how to separate your business finance from your personal finance. One of the reasons why small business do not try beyond 3-5 years is because they are unable to separate their personal finance from their business finance. Just like the example I gave, you made 10 million does not mean you have 10 million. That 10 million is not your money. You need to be able to differentiate how much is business money, how much is my money. You need to know the difference between the two. So that's why you probably need a finance coach. And then the next thing is you probably need to know how to invest. What's next to invest in? I have a friend who had a eatery in Lagos, Lekki. And then later, she's in Lagos, I'm in Abuja. One day she just called me and told me that she wanted to open another branch on the mainland. Like she was thinking of Surulere, Yaba, that place, that place, that place. And I had to ask her a couple of questions. Why? Do you have a strong customer base there? Like, have you ascertained you have them there? What's the return? How do you intend to fund it? All of these questions. And it was then that she realized she was not ready. I didn't think she actually moved. No, no, she didn't move. She didn't want to move. She wanted to open another branch. I didn't mean she actually opened another one. One of these two things is going to happen. One, it's either she gets into debt. She has to take a loan to sustain that place. Or she's using the money from Lekki to fund that place, and Lekki will not be thriving, or she will even shut down eventually. So that's why you need a finance coach, someone that would see out of the business for you and be able to sit down together to make informed decisions. You know what to invest in. Okay, you've invested enough in this business. Now this is time for you to invest in something else, to do something else. Now, I have a clothing line, not actively right now, but I used to have a very active clothing line, Delight Couture. And I was doing very well, ready to wear all of those things until I met a coach who told me it was time for me to add another business to it. What business was that? Selling fabrics. And it was a game changer for my business because I now started going to Aba. Then, like, I've not gone to Aba in like 3 years now. Before I got married was the last time I went to Aba. Now was 2020 was the last time I went to Aba. But then, I used to go to Aba with as much as 3 million to buy fabrics. I'll go to Aba, I'll buy fabrics about 500 naira, 600 naira per yard. I'll bring them back to Abuja to sell like 1,000 to 1,005 per yard. It was a game changer for my business. I needed a coach who saw outside of my business to tell me this was the next thing for me to do. probably I would just have remained a tailor that was just sewing practically. So these are some reasons why you might need a finance coach. Okay, and then another thing is coming to my mind. I remember when Heritage Bank was going to crash earlier this year. I already saw it from their financial papers, the way they were doing. And quickly, because I have an investment class I take every month. So I have to go on that group and tell them that, see, if you have investments with Heritage Bank, quickly go and withdraw your investment, or they're about to crash. An ordinary person who does not understand financial jargons will not relate. But because I understand, I have a team, a community of people that I coach. I have to tell them. So they took advantage of the fact that a finance coach is telling them what to do. There are times I recommend shares to people. I will not say you must buy, but I'll say, see, in fact, just day before yesterday, I went to my community and I told them a couple of shares that they should buy. That the way American election was going, that if Trump should win, that there were some stocks that would shoot up. There's some coins that will shoot up. And that was what happened. Within 24 hours, Tesla went almost 20% high. There were a couple of stocks like that went. In fact, crypto guys are balling because their money went like almost 100% like that.
Yeah.
So if you're not a finance person, how will you know all these things? Do you understand?
Yeah.
So like you need a finance coach, basically.
All right.
I
So
hope I've been able to answer your questions.
one last question, Ma, before you go. One last
Come.
question. So,
Mhm.
in the beginning of this class, you mentioned money value. You mentioned having knowing your value. All right. So now I want to translate that to skills because you are in
Mm.
that world. What skills are needed right now? Like, what skills do every single person right now need that can translate to value and translate to money? Like three or four of them that you think is very important.
Okay, so good thing. The first thing I'll say is selling yourself. How to sell. Everybody wants someone that can sell. It's a skill, it's an art, it's a science, it's anything. I'm a finance coach, but I take courses with Porfo, selling, how to sell. I take courses with him because selling is something that everybody, you are a product seller, you're a service seller, anything it is, you need to learn how to sell. So that is one. The second thing would be, God, this gives a lot. Okay, I think data, data analysis, all this data analysis course, because the way the world is going, we're going to be dealing with a lot of data. So all these data analysis courses. And then which other one can I say? A lot. Project management, product management, content writing, content marketing, all these things. They're just a lot like that I believe you can. And then sometimes you don't know until you get to that space that, okay, this is something that's so like that. 5 years ago, who would have known that there will be anything like content marketing, content writing? Like, what was that? You understand? So my Yoruba people will say aye lo anto. So as we are going, we are knowing what more to do, like that. So
All right, thank you so much, ma. This has been an amazing session. I won't lie to you, I've learned a lot. And I know every single participant and those who watch later have learned a lot. Thank you so much, ma. Thank you so much, ma. God
having
bless you, ma. Have a great day, ma.
you too. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Of course, it has been an amazing session. I have learned a lot. Like I said, this year's boot camp, I think maybe it was organized for me because I've learned a lot, made decisions, gotten to know, get answers to decisions I want to make. And then I have also learned how to make money now and how to multiply what I have. And I just hope that at the end of this boot camp, these words or these sessions are not just sessions which you just listen to and drop by the side. At the end of the day, you get to use it to make decisions and prosper. Trust me, we're in the season of prosperity, season of abundance, and you need to take advantage of it. Use these words to your advantage and make as much money as you want to make this season. The whole world is yours and it's open to you to do as you wish. All right, bye for now. See you tomorrow again by 8 p.m. It's bound to be another session. If you're not on our WhatsApp page or our Telegram page, please let us know so that we can add you on it. That's where we'll tell you everything that's about to happen. All right, 8 p.m. tomorrow. We're having another amazing session. I won't let the cat out of the bag. So be on our WhatsApp page and get to know who our next guest is and what topic we're going to be learning tomorrow. You know, can't you see all these things are lining up? All right, see you tomorrow. Bye for now. Bye for now. Bye for now.